Hello, I'm Crickets, and welcome back to I Have a Story. I'm going to start out my week of We the People talking about the topic that means the most to me right now, which is men's rights. I really appreciate Terrence Howard because I think a lot like he does. I understand a lot of what he says, and I had the same questions, especially me being very, very highly ranked in math. Every college entry exam I've taken, I place off the charts in math. Math has always been one of my very strong suits. I understand Terrence's concept and talks about zeros and ones. How can you have one of something, multiply it by zero, and end up with zero? You started with something, there's got to be something in the end. I asked those questions when I was a kid. When I was in elementary school being taught this stuff, I was asking these questions. Part of where my teachers either loved me or hated me, and made my mom hate me even more because she didn't want to deal with me thinking outside the box. Just conform, shut up, leave me alone. That's all my parents wanted. We don't want to hear it. We don't want to work with you. I see it going on in my people around me today. Kids ask questions, shut up and get away from me. I just saw it the other day and it blows my mind. Spend time with your kids. Teach your kids. Grow with your kids. It breaks my heart. Well, I really appreciate Terrence in a lot of his views and the things he says. And this video here is from Valuetainment. And if you've never seen Valuetainment, I'll try to link this specific video above if I can find it. But if I can't find this specific video, I will link Valuetainment video so you can find their channel at least. This has been one of my favorite channels. I wish I would have found this a long time ago. I just recently found it a couple months ago, and I've been listening to them for a couple of months now, and their panel is amazing. I really, really appreciate their panel. But I've also talked about in a lot of the things with fathers' rights about why men don't have rights, and I'll link here my folder of mental and physical health. And there's an awful lot of why men don't have rights. Between the ideology that's been forced into our head by the same group of people who took religion out of school. This is some of the forgotten knowledge that I'm going to be bringing with you, because I remember singing the Pledge of Allegiance in school. I remember when they took it away and the reasons they gave as to why they were taking it away. I'll be sharing that in another video. But we pump men full of hormones and then wonder why they think they're women and why they become soft. Because men aren't supposed to have hormones in their body. Then we put additional hormones into a woman's body. And what does that do? Well, we have a natural example of what happens when women become hormonally out of balance. What does menopause do to a woman? I've spoke about that. Some women become something unrecognizable going through menopause because it is that detrimental to our being. So on top of a lot of reasons why men don't have rights, I mean, on top of the fact that people hear about the horror stories but don't really think it's going to happen to them, or that can't really be true, or whatever the mindset going in. But when you get in and you just find out you have no rights, constitutional, legal, none of it, parental rights, that is actually what takes away from men what Terrence talks about in this video. So let's get to Terrence and what he has to say.
But when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it. A man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things. When you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it.
Now, I'm hoping to prove Terrence wrong on that one because I feel like I've lost my man card. A lot of men out there have lost their man card. I want to prove him wrong that we can take it back. And we, the people, if we come together, we can take our man card back. And this isn't just about men. This is also about the women who get with a man, fall in love. But the man's trapped in these circumstances, these corrupt, illegal court systems. It happened in my marriage, but then my wife decided to leave me and use it all against me and make her own gain out of it, which is also part of what he talks about here with women. And I want to share part of dealing with, especially in my situation, a woman who's done terribly wrong her entire life. Part of mental illness, the brain doesn't just go more and more, it also fills with a lifetime of all the corrupt, bad, horrible things that they have done, and then the horrible things other people have done in return to them. There's a lot more to it than just the brain gets degraded. Just like when I talked about my video with elderly people, and as they age, they lose the ability to focus and remember. Well, when you fill a hard drive on a computer, what does it do? It starts crashing. Too much information for it to all go through. Same thing happens with mentally ill people who create severe abuse. I'm the third husband that this person has cheated on. Multiple affairs. Well, let's listen to what else Terrence says here, because it does reach out to, even though Terrence here is talking in a different regards than men's rights in the court system, it still applies the same. So let's see what he says here about, more about that.
That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some over greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there, because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
Man, I mean, you know, one of the things you're seeing, you went to a whole different place.
Sorry.
No, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything.
And there applies more to the mental illness that I talk about. How can you tell 100 different partners in life, I love you, but yet actually, when do you ever mean it? If you've said it 100 times to 100 different people, when does it actually become real? It can't. I could even prove that in my marriage. Like in October of 2019, when I got thrown out of the house and she was seeing another person behind my back. Found her phone, found the text messages, and she was calling him her love. How can you love anybody when you're married with a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old under your roof? And she did the same exact thing in her first marriage too. It's all in her first divorce. Even being pregnant with another man's baby. I understand so much of this. I don't understand how to make it right, and I can't make it right without the world helping me make it right. One person can't go out and just change the entire world. It takes all of us. That's why we, the people, need to unite. We, the men, need to get our man card back, and we need to unite and become strong again and take our rights back. Because what's happening is completely illegal. My channel proves it over and over and over again. It's completely illegal. But yet we're supposed to maintain our mentality, our strength. And I speak the truth about all of it. We got the bad dads out there who don't actually want to be a dad, just want to go play like a kid themselves. I speak the truth of it all. Because unless we can face it all, we can't get real answers and create real solutions. We have to go through the tough stuff too. And it's tough for me to think that there's bad dads out there, but they're the ones who made it bad for all of us. So much I could say on that. So Terrence, even though what he's talking about is in the entertainment industry, part of why I'm so against the entertainment industry, because it's disgusting to me. We want to complain about money and who's got it, but yet we're willing to pay out the yin yang for entertainment, but won't pay for things that actually make our country better. But it isn't just men. There are women in the situation with a man they love who has to suffer the abuse of all of this too. We need to unite. We, the people, need to come together. We need to put an end to all this abuse that is going on in our world. We've come a world, I talk about this all the time, titles and paychecks. Our title is man. We're supposed to stand up and be men. We need our man card back.